here at the, good evening to everybody, and thank you for participating. This is very important for us because an organization like ours, as innovative as we think we are, we have our molds and we tend to operate by them. And then when a new reality comes, our normal way of doing things is in many ways limited, and we have to look for different alternative solutions. And it's a very hard thing for people that work in a large organization. And in our case, this is an organization where the senior management, which is brilliant and very, very dedicated, has been in their jobs in many cases for several years, if not more. So people definitely have a way of thinking about things. And as a very successful municipality, our practices are also, in many cases, learned by others. So to be on the to be in the case where our practices are not necessarily relevant and we have to seek out solutions is something that is not part of our normal exercise. Our job as media and communications is threefold. We have to communicate. We have to communicate the messages coming out of City Hall. We have to do PR for the municipality. So we have to communicate to our residents what we want them to know, but we also have to magnify what the municipality is doing to seize public attention to what we're doing. And the third thing, which has also been one of the roles of this organ, is to create content and value in general, but all in ways that create a good, positive, fun, creative, energetic image of the municipality. So these are our tasks always, and these are our tasks now. What has happened to us since this happened are several interesting things. On one hand, the scope of what the municipality does on a normal day or in a normal year went from this to this. We have focused on very, 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 very clear tasks. 80% of our employees are now not working. They have been sent home temporarily. They are employees, but they are not working. And the actions we are taking now have been reduced to the basic minimum needed to continue daily life, to assist those in need, and to continue the ongoing day-to-day of the city with the minimal financial expense and resource expense possible. So on one hand, we have a reduction of what we are doing. On the other hand, we have public attention during many hours of the day. But the drama that is going on now for the Israeli public, as for the international public, is so intense in terms of what's happening in the field of health, but also a parallel political drama, which is unparalleled ever in our history. These two things have created, the health and the politics have created a situation in which everybody is glued to their screens, whether it's the computer screen, or it's their cell phone screen, or it's the television screen. But the drama they see on these screens is such that it's very hard to come across with any message which is not exceptional and extravagant. So that is a very, very big challenge we have. We are doing fantastic stuff in a very limited scope, but it's very, very hard to get those news across. So that's one challenge we have. The second challenge we have is that two of our major assets as a city hall, of the specific city hall called the Tel Aviv-Yafo Municipality, have essentially been paralyzed. One is we own all the signage and the publicity mechanisms, the physical publicity mechanisms in the city, but those essentially have become absolutely irrelevant because we assume people are not outside. And if they are outside, they're not supposed to be outside. And if they are outside, we're not supposed to be spending money on creating public images in the public sphere because we're saving our money to help the needy. So we're talking about thousands of billboards, publicity posts, and all kinds of other things, which essentially have become irrelevant in one shot. That's one thing. The other thing is, because of the centrality of Tel Aviv, because of the concentration of all the media here in this city, because of the fact that most of the people that deal with media live in this city and live this city on a daily basis, we enjoyed an unparalleled situation in Israel in which no matter what we did, we got front page publicity. So the city of Tel Aviv can do anything in the field of sanitation, education, welfare, culture, entertainment, city beautification, and it always gets coverage on the news. It always gets coverage in the newspapers. It always gets coverage in the major websites because they're all concentrated here. And then all of a sudden, that we lose because the drama taking place, as I said before, has become more important than anything else. So a result of what I spoke about before was that this city does not really have alternative means of communication to reach the masses because we didn't need to. So we are now facing a situation in which this is a city with only one local newspaper. It used to be different. No local websites. That's not the case in other cities. So while you have very small cities in Israel that have a very extensive web of local communications, in this city that's actually not the case because national media is local communications in this city, except for now. So this is a very, very big challenge for us because we have to get to neighborhoods, we have to get to people, we have to get to segments which we are, which we don't have our own means of communication because we were very, 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 very fortunate to have the national media doing the work for us. So what we have been able to do in the past few weeks is develop new methods and adapt our methods to what is needed right now. And sometimes it's going back to the basics. So as I heard the general director of our Ministry of Health saying during the first week of the crisis, they thought the answer was in technology and innovation. And then they realized that the only way to fight an epidemic today is the way they fought it 1,000 years ago, which is to isolate those who are sick and separate them from society. And it's the same way they've been doing things from the birth of humankind, and it's still the best way to do things. So we found that when we have to reach parts in the city where we need to communicate locally, in languages which are not mainstream Hebrew, we went back to posting things on posters and putting them on people's doors in the languages they speak. In some cases, we will create videos and stuff which we will circulate through WhatsApp. I discovered that the ability to use WhatsApp on a large scale is something that we need to have in City Hall. We have a fantastic outreach when it comes to text messaging. We developed a wonderful, wonderful tool called Digital, which we have been using extensively, but the Digital platform, which was created about 5 years ago, based its abilities to reach people and target them on the SMS technology, which right now during this crisis has been reduced in importance, and the importance of WhatsApp has risen. We see this because this is how people communicate and forward messages to each other. So we are adapting to this quickly. We are in the midst of a process where we have been aware of this before, but it is clear that one of the outcomes of this crisis will be the ability to develop, the necessity to develop a much more pinpointed communications mechanism, looking at all the 60 neighborhoods of the city and their characteristics, and being able to communicate specifically to these neighborhoods and the residents of these neighborhoods, as opposed to approaches that served us fantastically up until the crisis, but now have somewhat weakened in parts of the city. So this in general is our challenge. Happily, the city management recognized the importance of communications now. So unlike most units, we hardly have to send people back home on vacation. Most of the employees of this unit are working and are happy to be working. And they are creating a huge amount of content to portray what's going on in the city. If you go into our website, from a very fun, user-friendly, but lightweight website, it has become a local city news website. Our online platforms, mainly our Facebook, which is a strong platform, has gone from posting about 2 posts a day to 5 posts a day. Our other platforms also post a lot of stuff. We are experimenting with WhatsApp through various various types of communication. We haven't found a solution yet. We do a lot of messaging through billboards on local boards, because those are within the 100 meters allowed for people to go. So we are looking at those old-fashioned billboard or boarding publicity, and we're constantly seeking new ways. So that, in a nutshell, is what we have been doing for the past few weeks.